Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm gonna go quickly over how you can play proper default on Inferno's CT side. First off, as a basic guideline, you want to have 3 players towards A and 2 players towards B. So to start with, let's focus on what the 2 B guys are supposed to do. When you're defending B side on Inferno, it's basically just all about getting control over Banana. And how you can get the control over Banana is actually fairly simple with just 3 util pieces. These util pieces are first off a shallow molotov towards the upper parts of Banana, a deep molotov towards the lower parts of Banana, and a deep smoke towards the very bottom of Banana, which intends to deny the T's access and, more importantly, vision towards the remainder of Banana. So how you want to go about to throw these util pieces is also not that hard. The first person that arrives at the upper part of Banana just aims a little bit to the left of this black handle here and does a running throw, which is the shallow molotov, and the second person aims towards the right of this door frame here and does a running throw, which is the deep molotov towards Banana. So if we throw both molotovs consecutively, this is what Banana is going to look like. So first molotov, as I mentioned, is going to burn everything at the upper parts of Banana, and the second molotov is going to burn the entirety of bottom Banana. However, as this is CS2, the molotovs at times are a bit inconsistent, meaning at the left cubby of bottom Banana or towards woods, there might be a slight gap that doesn't get burned, but it's not that hard to deal with that. Now, the only thing that is left with Banana is just taking complete control over it by just pushing down and clearing each and every angle. And as I've mentioned before, there might be some slight inconsistencies with the incendiaries, meaning a team might still be lurking towards woods or the bottom left cubby of Banana. So in order to make your life a whole lot easier, you just communicate with your teammate and then throw a double nade either towards woods or the bottom left cubby like so. Like if you want to nade woods, you just look at this wall here, running throw, and if you want to nade the bottom left cubby, you look at this flower pot and do a running throw. And lastly, after you've thrown the double nade and hard cleared any of those 2 angles, you want to give yourself a support flash, quote unquote, or like a self flash, where you can look at this window here, or like one of you 2 can look at this window here and just do a running jump throw, which is gonna throw a flash that pops behind you, meaning anyone that might be holding the upper parts of Banana is forced to go into cover, or he'll be a free frag otherwise. And then together with the flash, you can, like if you've double naded woods, you pretty much don't need to clear it anymore. You can just hard swing, wide swing towards the right and clear the bottom left of Banana, and vice versa. If you have cleared the bottom left of Banana, you can just wide swing woods and then push down Banana together and hard clear it. And once you've hard cleared everything of Banana, your main goal shifts towards just denying it from the T's as long as possible, which basically boils down to just re-smoking the bottom parts of Banana. And then you can play like a setup however you want. You can like put one guy towards the upper parts of this wall here, while another guy is playing close there. You can have one guy jiggling half wall, again one guy playing close. You can be both playing towards the upper parts of Banana, just going for information, and once you see someone just relaying that to your team and falling back towards B side, you can do whatever you want pretty much. However, there is one edge case. What about if the T's manage to deny you getting control over Banana? And in this instance, you can actually pull one of the 3 A guys towards B for the start of the round, which is then supposed to help you to get control over Banana more consistently. So what the A player is supposed to do in order to help out the B guys is actually throw the bottom Banana smoke, throw a support flash, and lastly provide additional fragging power. So first of all, at the start of the round, you can get yourself stuck in this corner here. Look at the yellow thingy at the bottom of the antennas and do a jump throw, which is gonna smoke the bottom parts of Banana. Next, you want to line yourself up in front of this pillar here and look at the bottom of this thingy here. And once your Banana players are ready, you just throw a flash, which again is gonna pop behind them and flash everyone that might be holding the upper parts of Banana. And lastly, you just help out your banana guys where it's needed. You can provide an additional HE, which might be helpful when hard clearing, or like when clearing the bottom parts of banana like woods and the left cubby, or you can just push down towards bottom banana and just play together with them. And once you have control over banana, you actually shift back towards A and leave 2 players towards B. Now one upside of this setup is actually that you have 1 additional smoke left for the 2 B players, which allows you to block out banana from the T's for even longer. Now for A side, you want to have 3 players here. However, the CT side on Inferno's A side is quite different to other maps, since you can't really play the same default setup each and every round, since this would be getting way too predictable for the DTs. So instead, I'm just gonna introduce you to like 3 or 4 setups that you can apply to your gameplay in order to stay a bit more unpredictable. So first of all, a pretty basic default. You want to have one guy whose whole responsibility is just watching the exit of a horse. Let it be from pit with an off angle like so, or from an off angle like so, or you can be even playing from side behind this box here. You can jump on top of this crate here and play an angle like so. You can be even playing on top of this barrier here from short, and yeah, you basically want to make sure that no one is able to sneak out of a horse. Next, we have the A long and the A short player. And the idea for this setup is basically that you have one player on short hidden underneath the roof behind this pillar here, while your long player plays in this cubby here and just repeatedly jiggles for information towards mid like so. And once your long player has contact with the T, the short player is then supposed to swing out as well, so that you're playing a proper crossfire and most likely are getting the frag on the T player. And what you want to be doing then is basically throw a Molotov in towards this choke point here that allows the 2 of you to fall back towards side and continue to play from there. So the Molotov you can be throwing from short goes like so, and the Molotov you can be throwing from long goes like so. And after you've thrown the Molotov, you can just continue to fall back towards side, and the long player can play from here where he jiggles this angle, and the short player can be playing from side where you kind of switch roles with your pit player, where the pit player is then like intended to take a position like this and hold the A short area, and the previously A short player is then playing from side towards a horse, like again like so, like this. You can even be playing on top of this box here. Next off, we have an AWP setup where most likely your long player is playing an AWP, and for this setup your A horse player is doing the exact same things as before, but for you 2 brackets players the dynamic changes quite a bit. So basically, as the short player that usually plays a rifle, you just want to support your AWP in every way possible. And what this means is, for instance, if your AWP decides at the start of a round to take an aggressive peek towards second mid, he's obviously vulnerable towards the boiler area and towards the right side of mid. So if he's holding this angle as the A short player, you just want to be extra careful if you hear any sounds towards apps, since most of the time, at least in lower levels of play, you'll always hear the T's stepping, or you'll hear stepping sounds when the T's are jumping up towards balcony here. And what you want to be doing then is just jiggle this angle here and make sure that there is no T that can jump your AWP by sneaking up towards the left side of this wall here. And then usually this is just an aggressive early play you can do, and once you get a pick, or if you don't get a pick, the both of you just want to fall back. So the AWP usually wants to hold an angle like so, and this is also important if you're AWPing on Inferno as the long player. You just want to start off with this angle, take a shot, doesn't matter if you get the frag or not, and then you just want to fall back. You can again fall back towards this angle here, just hold long again, or you can fall back towards an angle like so. And let's say this is exactly what you're doing. You're taking the first shot, let's say you get a frag, now you're holding an angle like this, and then again you just take one shot, and then you're supposed to fall back. You can now hold an angle like so, you can hold an angle from the left, like so, or you can hold an angle like this. And afterwards, again, if you take the shot, you change your position again, and you just keep on doing this, and you keep on falling back towards A side. So one thing I've actually forgotten to mention before is if you're playing the second setup where the short player is supporting a long player that is playing an AWP, once you're falling back, you can actually also self-boost yourself up here, which gives you a nice off angle towards boiler. And then you can just take or like get a quick frag and then just jump down and fall back towards side. Lastly, a third setup I want to show you guys is the double short setup, where you're supposed to play one guy that's playing anti-flash, and anti-flash in this case just means he's not looking towards mid, since at times if the T's want to push mid, there is usually support flash coming like so, and you know, if you're playing on the roof and just looking towards mid and you get blinded by the flash, you're basically just a sitting duck. So you want to play anti-flash, and then you want to have one guy directly below you that is intended to like aggressively jiggle towards mid and just get the first contact and bait a T into a gunfight and then just fall back. Like once you have contact and the T spot you, is like, yeah, there's someone playing on the roof, he will probably overcommit towards here, and then once the guy below you has contact, you can obviously turn and look towards mid and then usually get the easy frag. Now, the one downside to this setup is that, like, if you want to play it ideally, you actually need quite a bit of movement. So in order to get one player on the roof, you usually want to jump up here, then jump there, and then continue to jump up here, and then you're on the roof. You just need to be careful, since if you're landing here, it actually makes a sound. So you usually want to avoid playing right next to this window here, but just play a bit further to the right, since the apps players might be hearing that you just jumped on top of the roof here and then just spam you like so. Alternatively, if you're lacking movement, it's not a big deal usually, since the T's aren't going to play fast towards mid anyways. So you can just like the player that's supposed to play below the roof can just boost the other guy on top of the roof, and then it's just all fine. Like the other way where you can self-boost yourself up here is just a lot more cool and obviously more optimized. Lastly, there's one thing we still need to discuss, and this is a situation where you're sending one of the 3 A players towards B in order to help the B players take banana more consistently. And in this case, you need to adapt on A, since like if the T's might be rushing A side with just 2 players there, it's pretty much impossible to defend. So what you want to be doing instead is just fake some aggression towards mid or second mid, which usually causes the T's to slow down and then slowly clear mid, which gives sufficient time to your B players to take banana as 3 guys, and then for the third A player that is not playing B to rotate back towards A side. And how I want to go about this is actually fairly simple. At the start of a round, one of the A players just wants to get himself stuck in this corner here, and then look at this like wooden pillar here at the slight curve here, at the middle of the bottom of it, and just do a normal jump throw. And this smoke is gonna bounce once, twice off this roof here, and then just land towards bottom mid. And yeah, as I've just mentioned, this usually conveys some intention from the CTs to push towards either the lower parts of mid or second mid, which means the T's again need to be more careful when approaching the mid and second mid areas, which significantly slows them down and provides ample time for your B player to rotate back towards A side. And lastly, as always, a short summary. At the start of the round, you want to have 3 players towards A and 2 players towards B. For the B players, you just want to make sure to get control over banana, which is basically everything you need to do in order to properly defend the B side. Usually the util required for this is just 2 Molotovs, 1 deep smoke and 2 HEs in order to clear either woods or the left side of Kabi. Should you struggle to take control over banana with just 2 guys, you can send one of the 3 A players towards B as well at the early stages of the round, which is then supposed to help you out with the deep banana smoke and the support flash, and additionally some fragging power. On the other hand, for A side, there are several setups you want to switch between in order to stay unpredictable. The default setup consists of someone playing on the roof and someone in a carpet towards long, where the long player jiggles, gets contact, and the short player then swings, which makes for a nice crossfire. The second setup is where the long player is playing with an AWP, where you can take some aggressive peeks towards mid or second mid. And the role of the A short player is then just to support his AWP player accordingly. After this early play, you are then intended to fall back towards side, where the AWP is playing long corner and watching mid, and the short player is just jiggling towards boiler, or boosting himself up on top of the roof on short, which gives him a nice off angle towards boiler as well. For the third setup, which is like the bait setup on short, you want to have one guy on top of the roof on short and one guy directly below it. The guy that is playing underneath the roof is just jiggling towards mid. Once he has contact, he's falling back, and the guy on top of the roof swings. For each and every setup, the A horse player is just focused on A horse entirely. Let it be from jiggling in A horse and getting some information, playing on balcony outside of A horse, or just playing an off angle from pit or side. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side for the CT side on Inferno. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you could get something useful out of this video, and if this is the case, you can leave a like or subscribe to my channel for more educational CS content. If you have any further questions, suggestions, feedback or whatever, you can leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Lastly, I've also created a Discord server where you can join and connect with like-minded people, link in the description, where you can, for instance, search for teammates to play with once there are enough members on the Discord. So yeah, until the next video. Bye!